Hi guys, I'm David Guetta and I'm gonna answer a few questions from the internet. This is DJ Support. From Kuru the Guru, what is the theory behind drops? Music is all about contrast. If you want something to sound loud, it needs to be quiet before. If you want something to sound very wide and stereo, it needs to be mono before. So this is kind of announcing that something is about to happen, but at the same time, you don't use kick, you don't use the bass, you don't use the elements that are really driving the song. So really, you miss them. So when they come back, that's the drop. And it's gonna feel like an insane energy because, you know, the volume was there and in all a second it's there. This is the trick. Even if I would play a very simple beat like that, and I put a EQ, I use a filter, and there is no, you cannot hear the kick very well because there's no low end. And in all a second, I'm gonna put it back and people are gonna scream because if I leave you like this, it's like a tension. Tension, 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 tension. And then when you hear that, woo, it's like, you know, so it's really as simple as this. It's just the contrast. So from Drag Doc, do most DJs create and practice sets before a gig, or they just know their library incredibly well? When I started, we would never play the same set because it was about the journey. So you read the people, and for me, this is the essential art of DJing. The technical part of DJing is really easy to master today thanks to technology. When I started, it was vinyls. Today, everything is done on computers, so the beat is always perfect. It's very easy to beat match today. When I play a festival like Ultra or Tomorrowland, you have 10 DJs playing one after the other, and they're all the biggest DJs on the planet, and they're all playing 1 hour or 90 minutes. We cannot have even a 1 minute that is so-so. It has to be on point, perfect all the time. So in that case, yes, we prepare our set. I never played a pre-recorded set. I hear so much about those stories of pre-recorded set. I think it's absolutely ridiculous because beat matching is so easy. Like I can teach a kid that is 10 years old how to beat match in a couple of hours because today it really became easy. So I don't know why people are talking about this, but what I can say is that yes, we prepare. When I play a festival like Ultra, I probably work 1 full month every day on that set to make it perfect. I would create a skeleton, and then when I play, I see are people reacting more to this or to that. Let's say I'm playing my set that I prepared, but I see that when I play an underground record, they're really into it. So I have my underground playlist, I'm gonna add some of this. Or let's say I play an underground record and it's a disaster. The only one hits and sing along and feel good music. Okay, no problem. I'll also have my list and I'm gonna add that more into the skeleton of my set. So yes, most sets are prepared. From DJ Frankus, why do DJs always act like the knobs on the mixer are hot? If I'm totally honest, some of it can become like a tick to do that, and some of it is a little bullshit part of the show. I put the EQ straight because you have the craziest engineers that are coming into the club, so unless really the club sucks, you don't need to do all this show with the EQ. So then there's a little bit of the creative EQ. So in the mixing and also like you can like, I don't want to speak bad about my colleagues. But I think a lot of this is for the show. Let's say it like that. From Lexan Beats, how do you read the crowd when the club isn't vibing? That's a good question. Actually, this happens even to me. What you would do is try different things until one thing is reacting. And when that record is reacting Well, you have your different playlists, and let's say you play a tech house record and it's reacting when you've been playing techno and it was not reacting. Well, then you go to best of tech house of 2025 in your playlist, and then you play more of that style. And this is why pre-recorded set makes no sense, because you need to be able to try different things until you win. And when you win, you make them happy. And once they're happy, then you can take them where you want. From Nap Lover, what's the difference between playing at festivals or clubs? So usually when you start to DJ, you do parties with your friends. And then when you become more professional, you play clubs. And if you become very famous, you play festivals. I started as a resident. I would play 8 hours every day, 6 days a week. When I play a festival, I play 90 minutes because people want to hear my music. The same way you have a festival. Imagine you have the Rolling Stones and AC/DC. Well, you want the Rolling Stones to play Satisfaction. You want the AC/DC to play Highway to Hell. They're not gonna do in a festival little jam and play their favorite records from different artists. Well, it's the same for festivals. When you play a festival, people want you to play exactly your sound because this is why they're buying tickets. And usually, because the crowd is so much bigger, you have to play more energy because, of course, you need more energy to move 100,000 people than to move 200 people. So really, underground music is coming from the clubs. Sometimes it goes to festival, but in my opinion, when you play to 20,000 people, it's not underground anymore, even if you call it underground. From Throwaway, best way to start to learn to beat match. Honestly, beat matching is really easy today with the technology of today. So I just took loops for you to understand. So let's say that this record is playing and I need to get into the next record. So what I would do usually is turn down the bass because it's just a mixing principle. If you have too much bass at the same time, it's gonna sound horrible. And then, so now, there are two records playing, and it's beat matching, okay? If it was a bad mix, it would do that. If you do that, it's horrible. Like, people are confused. They don't know how to dance, like where to dance. So then you need to adjust it. And now, okay, again, I'm gonna do that. And then I can go to the other one. So I kept the beat steady so that people can dance. And now let's go to the next level of, let's say, when you learn how to DJ, the first step is to beat match correctly, the way I did. And the next step is also to respect the key. So then you need to know a little bit about music theory. So this is in C minor. This one is in F sharp minor. So maybe you don't hear it, but it's off key. It's not pleasant. So I'm gonna now put it in G. Now listen. This is pleasant. So not only is beat matched, but it's also in key because G is in a chord. We call this a fifth. So it's a perfect chord. C and G goes perfectly well together. So if I hear a DJ do that, I'm like, okay, this guy is good. Someone asked what they're hearing in the headphones when they're playing a set in a loud venue. Again, let's say I'm playing record A, which would be this one. I would use my headphones to listen to record B and make sure that I started the record at the right time and that it's beat matching correctly. And I'm going to check this in my headphones because I don't want to mess it up and just launch it and put it there and I think it's right, but maybe it's not right. So it's like an insurance policy. You want to make sure that your mixing is on point. And also, when you're looking for the next record to play, well, sometimes you have an hesitation. You feel like this is going to feel good after record A, but let me double check how it feels in the headphones. So one ear is listening in the headphones to the next record, and one ear is listening to the monitor to what's playing on the sound system for everyone. Mr. X DJ asked, what were the biggest mistakes you did when starting out to DJ? First, there's always a fine line in how to create your own identity. In order to be successful, you need to have your own style, your own music. Sometimes it's the music you create yourself, or sometimes you just play a lot of the same style, and when it's unique, it makes you famous for that. And this is cool. But what I see a lot is sometimes people so want to create their identity and so want to be cool, they don't even care if people are liking it or not. Especially in the time of today, because it's filmed, they care more about social media and how people are going to perceive this behind their computers or their phones instead of playing for the people that are in front of them. So, okay, you want to be cool and unique, but you don't want to forget why people are paying you. You're getting paid to give a good time and entertain the people that are in front of you. That's what I see a lot. DJs that are playing like this and they never look at the crowd. That's madness to me, because our job is, before anything, to entertain people, give them a good time. So you need to be able to read them. So if you don't look at them, how can you read them? Doesn't make sense. From Ray Donios, playing my first gig at 3 a.m., how to not be tired. Oh, I feel you. This is something you need to accept, because this is part of what we do, and it doesn't get any better ever. Because first there's working at night, and then when you become very successful, you need to travel and be jet lagged. So yes, it's, I'm sorry, my friend. There's no perfect solution, but there is one okay solution, which is what I do when I play late nights. I do what I call a disco nap. I sleep 1 hour, no more, before the show. And then I take half an hour so I don't arrive like a zombie. This is a big problem in our community, because we all have the worst sleep patterns, because of course when you sleep before your show, then when you go home you're not sleepy anymore. Man, don't take Zolpidem, it's not good for your health. From Keep the Bronze Sheep, can someone help clarify the difference between mixing, remixes, and producing? Some people think that DJs are creating the music live with the turntables, which is not true. Some people think that when I make a record, I'm just remixing it or mixing it, which is also not true. Let's be clear. So mixing two records together means there's one record that is playing. Most DJs are playing other people's record. You play one record and then you need to do a transition to the next record. So you mix the next record in, and there's a technique for that is called beat matching. So that's mixing. Remixing is when you create a new production around an existing vocal. You take a famous song that everyone knows, but instead of playing the original version, you play a version that you created yourself with your own style of music. When you say someone is a producer, it usually involves all the different steps. Composition is usually simply chords played on the piano or the guitar, a little melody. Songwriting is the song, its melody, and then later when you have that, you produce it. The production is the choice of sounds, the choice of arrangement that is gonna make the song go into this style or that style. So for you to understand, if a song is great, I can produce it in so many different ways. I can make it a ballad, I can make it an EDM song, I can make it a reggae song. This is only due to production. From Totally Not a Girl, how do you make a set? I compare this to a fashion show a little bit. Let's say there are 2, 3, or 4 seasons in a year. So when it's the beginning of the season, in my case, usually it would be around March. This is what is going to be my summer collection. So before Ultra, I work like maybe a full month creating a set, and then I'm playing it at Ultra. I see what works, what doesn't work. Then I have my season in Vegas. I see what works, what doesn't work. Then I'm using some of this to play my season in Europe, in Ibiza. And I have then probably 50% of my set. I have to play a little more underground for Ibiza. So then at the beginning of the season, I have a set. And every time I'm writing down what works and what doesn't work. And then I'm like, okay, this record out. This one works really well. Okay, that hot new sound, I was not expecting it to work that well. I'm gonna put more of that style. And then what happens is every week, the set is getting better and better and better. And then in August, it's gonna be so fucking perfect that I'm getting bored of it. From DJing, are jog wheels essentials? Well, I guess this is the jog wheel. This is actually coming from the idea of vinyls, because it was a similar way to mix. And, you know, you would like, if it's not perfectly beat matched, you would move the vinyl a little bit forward or backward until it's perfect. This is one technique that comes from the old school way of mixing. There would be a possibility to use other ways, but I think this is very practical. So yes, it's useful. Okay, those were all the questions. Thank you for watching DJ Support.